welcome back. It's me again, and I'm here with Lyto, about to play Hollow Knight, and with Rookie on comms. So as soon as you guys are ready, I'll shut my mouth, and you guys can start playing.
Okay.
And then you guys in chat can start donating.
Well, I think we're ready, so I guess we'll go on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. This time doesn't count towards the live split, but it's like impossible to actually see when it starts in real time. Okay.
So I guess we're going to start off with a little bit of technical stuff really early, but we just want to establish that we're going to be using the pause menu throughout a lot of this run because it allows you to drop without or at a faster rate, I should say. So
and you don't get a hard fall at the end.
yeah, we're going to see a lot of drops since this is very much a maze-like game. So if you see him menuing while it appears that he's going to be falling down for quite a bit, it's not because he needs to do anything, but rather it's just going to give us a little boost on the way down. So, Hollow Knight, as we all know, a game from just a few years back, your kind of modern version of the Super Metroid or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, definitely took over the scene with a splash, and one of those games that you want to play for the great movement, the great exploration, and I guess the lore as well. But for the most part, we're going to be skipping that today, so...
Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit, though. Maybe when we get there, at least.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot that for any normal player, they're going to miss during a first run, but that's part of the fun part, as you see a little bit of the mini drop here. So we're going to be entering the main town, jumping through, because you walk a little bit slower there early in the game. But
I don't know why it makes you walk slower.
It is very strange, I'll just say that, but we're unfortunately going to be ignoring everything and instead getting right down into it.
I don't like Elderbug much. He just complains about things all the time.
Yeah, it's more fun during the normal game, but you know, this night over here is kind of in a little bit of a rush, so we're going to be heading down to the first big boss very soon. As you can see, a lot of acceleration there, so expect to see that a lot.
You have to be prepared there because you can randomly hit enemies that just happen to be there. Quite annoying to deal with.
When you get hit by an enemy in this game, it does have a pretty dramatic effect, but hopefully we'll see it as little as possible. This is the first, I guess, mini-boss kind of area, but not much of a threat. And we'll be right through.
Yeah, you'll notice I'm spending a little bit of time picking up Geo, which is the money in this game. That's just so I can buy some stuff later. Oh shit. Sorry. I need to get out of that.
The most minor of inconveniences. Yeah. This man's apologizing.
Yeah. Anyway, this bit's fairly slow. We're just gonna progress through to the first major boss, I guess, which is the False Knight.
So, to talk about False Knight also, all the bosses in this game, they give you something for your rewards, typically how the genre works, but the thing is, we don't actually need everything in this run. Matter of fact, this is quite literally a low percentage run. As you know, we gotta finish as quickly as possible. So, we actually have a little bit of a technique that manipulates the boss a little bit. He's gonna do one main cycle, and he's gonna do something that's going to allow us to save a little bit of time, but we'll let the gameplay speak for itself. But we're coming up in just a minute.
I actually had no idea this was a thing until I started learning the speedrun.
Yeah.
Like every single time I did the run legitimately.
I heard about it, so yeah. Quite the big boss. He's gonna lose his mind in a second here. But after he gets up, he's going to throw a little bit of a tantrum, and that is going to help us out a little bit. And alright, we're out. See you later, and on we are to the first major power-up coming up.
Yeah. Oh, something I should mention is that live split doesn't count loading times, so the time I've got in front of me is probably quite a bit slower, faster than the time you'll be seeing on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at just before 4 minutes, well, 3:40-ish. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get a new power up here called the Vengeful Spirit. It is a very nice thing to have for the speed run because it is essentially a more powerful attack. Well, it works like a spell.
The
And
fireball, I suppose.
yeah, you could treat it as the very strong hit, but unfortunately, the drawback of getting the spell is we get trapped in here until we learn how to use it. So
Yeah. It's a tutorial of sorts.
yeah, gonna pick up a little bit of Geo on the way, hopefully, but we're gonna eventually have to get through the enemy that knows how to deal with all your normal attacks except this new spell, because a lot of games like to work like that. Also, for a lot of the run, we're going to be using the up slash to prevent the bounce, because every time you get hit by stuff in this game, we'll be bouncing. So if you see the up slash a lot, that's why. And this should be enough here. And we're going to skip the reward.
Oh yeah, you'll notice
we're
we're using Chinese as the language. It's just a lot faster for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And that
Anyway,
bench
we're gonna
is very important right there.
Yeah, it's
They use
it's sort of for a heal, but it's also because we're going to use it to return there later.
yes, and the benches in this game kind of say or are kind of used as your typical marker of progress. Every time you die in this game, you go back to them. So it does give you a little bit of a safety barrier, but for the most part, we don't plan to use it, but we do plan to use this bench for an actual way to get back to the main area quicker, since we're going to veer off a little bit here to get one of the major power-ups in the game soon.
Yeah, I need 6 hits of soul. Yeah, just so I can do. Oh yeah, we're coming up to a little glitch here. I'm not sure why it works. I think it's because the fireball gets stuck at the end of its range and just happens to be where the guy is.
Yeah, somewhat tough glitch coming up, but we do have a backup at the very least. But we just get it, or no, I think it's coming up in a little bit. My bad. Give you a little bit of a.
That's one of the skips,
Oh,
but
okay.
it only
It's a
requires one
preview.
fireball instead of
It's a
2.
preview.
Yeah, I'm not very consistent at the other one, but I did get it earlier in my practice run.
So we'll be seeing that soon. Be introducing a major character to the game that we're not going to see too much, but will serve as a boss fight coming up.
Right. If you played this casually, you'll never have hit these normally. But we did for a bit slow. Alright, here we go. And I missed it.
Alright, so I'm going to try to use backwards momentum, but not going to get it this time. But luckily we do have a backup plan. We're going to have to draw this enemy over here.
Not going well at all. Right, I'm going to try and lure him over to there. Nope.
Barely missing the pogo there.
This is just nerves. I can only apologize. I don't want to hit him twice in case he dies, so I'm just going to reset him. And that puts his health back up.
So, another important part about this game is the soul system, which we've talked about a little bit already. You can use soul as a little bit of a ways to heal, but you can also use it as a form of offense. And because you gain soul every time an enemy, or every time you hit an enemy,
This
as a result,
by far the worst attempt at this I've had in a long time.
There we go.
We got it eventually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, because we get the soul every time we get the hits, the game actually encourages offensive play, which I think is definitely one of the best aspects of it. But if you want to play a little bit safer, you can use that soul to heal. So you don't really get healing items, you just always have access as long as you're still
I'm just going to go
hitting
safety here and not attempt to
enemies.
get the skip. Because I need health just in case.
Mm-hmm.
It only loses like 5-10 seconds, it's not too bad.
And yeah, also another thing that we will be keeping track of is the amount of Geo we have. We aren't going to need it for a little bit, but it is important to save up a little bit for the things that are needed throughout the run. So you will be seeing us go slightly out of the way to get it. I guess I might as well talk about screen transitions right now like that. If you're jumping up, you'll actually be facing the direction that you're in, and you get an automatic little boost. Very minimal time save, but still one nonetheless.
And the 3 fireballs there, but I didn't quite have enough soul because I used it to heal earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're coming up to a rather infamous character.
Yes, one that is definitely a fan favorite. Maybe not so much for the knight, but for the player, it's always a fun one. And this is the rare instance where this man's in trouble, but we're actually going to save him. And this is because the enemy gives you quite a lot of Geo. Kind of an annoying spawn right there for a lot of Geo.
There is a quicker method, but I'm not very good at it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So be happy that we saved him, because we may be ignoring some of the grubs along the way. So, unfortunately, but we can always come back for those in the 100%, of course.
Right.
We are against the boss soonish. And this boss is important to the speedrun because it gives us the Mothwing Cloak, which will be used to, I guess, get a little bit of a boost in our step. So yeah, this boss is quite the well-known character, especially if you've been paying attention to the potential sequel. Or she will be a playable character. I think everybody's a little bit excited for that. And this is definitely one of the early game big hitters, especially for the casual player. But seems we're doing a good job handling it right now.
It wasn't too fast,
there it is.
But it'll work.
Whatever gets the job done. Alright.
That's a plus 51 on my Lyto, yeah.
Yeah. We have the Mothwing Cloak now. But we're quitting.
Yeah.
And we're going back to that bench that we talked about earlier, because we have the power up, but there's no reason that we want to stay in green path right now. So back to the Forgotten Crossroads we go.
Yeah. So the Mothwing Cloak is a dash, and you can use it mid-air, you can use it on the ground.
And you're going to see it a lot.
It's basically our primary movement option for the rest of the game, I suppose.
Yep. So all the movement that you've seen earlier will luckily now be quicker. No maps for us in this run. You may have noticed that we walked by the lovable character Cornifer earlier, who goes out of his way to kindly make maps for us. Of course he charges for it, but you know, can't have it every way, I guess. Yeah. But we'll be skipping that for the most part also. Be skipping a lot, actually.
Pretty reasonable, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Cornifer would never rip you off. We'll just say that. So, new area right now. Well, the fungal waste.
Yeah,
now, there's a lot to do here.
Skip coming up.
Yeah.
But I've actually gotten fairly consistent at it. So,
no, that's good to hear.
Isn't it? Yeah, so in this room there's a character called Cloth. She's quite lovable, but we're not going to see her, unfortunately.
Yep. If we have donations, maybe a good time to potentially ask while we get over to the Mantis Claw, next power up.
Yeah, we've got a few donations to read out. Let me just get them up. Let me just refresh, because we actually got quite a few just in the first few minutes there. So,
good.
We got even more since I last reloaded.
Oh wow!
So we got Michael Scott, the Michael Scott of The Office, saying donating £5, saying good luck runners, you're all Scott's tots.
There we go. Try.
Focus Mist donating £20, saying £10 towards nipple percent and £10 towards Metal Gear Solid 3 Tuxedo, please boys. Good luck to all runners this weekend. Thank you, Focus Mist. We've got Hawksy donating £10, saying I'm only doing this to force Whammy to play Rosalina in Elite Smash. I mean, I've never seen Whammy's Rosa, but yeah, I'd pay a tenner to see that.
We've moved into the wrong position.
So, I think one more maybe? That's good.
Yeah, just got a couple more donations to get through if you've got time.
Yeah, I think we can do one more before we talk about the Mantis Claw.
Yep. Well, we've got Lee donating £10 with no message, and Mark
I know
Newton
who
with
that is.
£10 saying, "Let's go, Lyto. I still have my autograph he gave me in 2019." And that is towards nipple
Famous.
percent. Yes, if you want to carry on, I will mute myself again.
Yeah, that's
All right.
fine. Thank you.
So this is a big power up right here, and because we got it, we're going back to the bench. But
There-
one thing
there
I
was a
don't want
way-
to.
There was a way to skip all of that whole going around the mantises thing, but it requires the first flying mantis to not go under the rim of the door, which it did. So we had to take the long way, unfortunately.
Yep. And now we're going to be targeting about 220 GEO and unlocking one of the stag stations. Seems that we are already at our total, so that's good news. Everything's going as planned. So we're going to unlock the stag soon, I believe, because we're going to need it later in the run. But one thing I don't want to, forget is while we were actually talking about those donations, Lyto did pull off one of the tougher exploits in the game. One that I saw him actually attempting quite a bit this week, so to get this one first try is at least nice happening. What you saw in the fungal waste is he actually let one of the enemies with the explosives, he let one of the projectiles chase him down, and he pogoed off the projectile, and then on top of it, you have to pogo off the explosion, and that's how we got into that area with the Mothwing Cloak relatively quickly, so good stuff there.
It's
And I think
quite
we're...
hard, but once you get the timing down, it's not too bad.
So, gonna unlock the stag station, which serves as a form of fast travel. There's a lot of them throughout the game, but this one
Yeah, we
is
only use
particularly
about
useful.
4 of them, I think.
Yeah, especially since this is like the first major one you get to in the game. Makes sense that it's a focal point for the run. But our next topic is going to be figuring out charms after this quick little boss. Now, the nice thing about the charm system here is it gives you a lot of different ways to play the game. You can go for a more passive build, maybe a more aggressive one that focuses on healing soul more, or ones that just give you buffs in general. And there's a lot of unique setups that you can do. It's kind of like the Paper Mario badge system, or took inspiration from that, if any of you are familiar with that. Definitely one of the big reasons to want to play the game, because you get your own little custom, or you get more customizability, I guess. So customization, yes, that's the word. So we're gonna get this charm called the Shaman Stone. It's gonna help with soul, I believe.
Yeah, it increases the power of your spells, basically, to
Mm-hmm.
quite a significant degree.
We're gonna use this bench to update our save point as well. And then we gotta save the shop owner over here.
Yeah. We'll be talking to him later. He's a pretty cool guy. He's called Sly.
Mm-hmm. Doing a lot of charitable acts in this Hollow Knight world, only because they're faster. And oh, okay. I don't know if there's a issue. Okay, so we're now dead.
I'm going to be honest. I
that
tried
was
to make it more
entirely intentional.
convincing, but
Just kind of have to sit there and
right
take the hits, but that was actually entirely intentional. The bench being right there is quite convenient, I guess. So we're now going to use our shade that spawns, if he wants to come attack, that is. So this is the only real death that we have in the run, I believe, and we're going to use that to get a pretty big skip here and get over to an area known as the resting grounds, where we can kind of start the objectives of the game.
Yeah, so, we can probably do
yeah.
Or not?
Maybe not.
I guess not.
You can maybe get one donation in, though we're at the end of the lake now.
It's fine, it's fine. Anyway, we're going to move into a little section to get a thing called the Dream Nail, which we need to awaken the dreamers later on in the run. It also has some other uses, such as gaining soul from enemies and getting lore from the game, but we don't care about the lore here.
So here we are. This is going to give us a new main objective, which is to find these 3 dreamers throughout the game. And we will be using them to gain access to the final battle. So, gonna have some interesting cutscene right now.
I'm going to be
And then-
honest, until about my third run, I had no clue what was going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's intentionally a little bit,
Vague.
yeah, vague.
I'm just going to drop off there because you have to wait ages for a certain entity to spawn here, and it's a bit faster if you fall off for some reason. I don't know why.
So this is going to be our little stop before getting the Dream Nail, which is another item that is very useful for the late game lore purposes also, but we do need that to finish the run. So after we eventually wake up these dreamers, we're going to, or after we do that, we're going to be getting the Dream Nail. This whole area kind of
Try to play
is,
that a little bit safe.
yeah. We set up a lot of the rest of the game here. And what's interesting is this is actually definitely not one of the first areas you go to, but because everything's a little bit confusing this run, we're going to be taking a quite weird route that I think would be very hard to take accidentally in your normal playthroughs. So
we're not going to talk about what just happened there. Just forget about it.
I mean, I can talk about what just happened if you want. So what Lyto just did was he mashed out of that Dream Nail cutscene to gain control. While the screen was entirely white, what he was doing was actually mashing so he could gain control. Then he moved right, and he got out of the Dream Nail area, and menu dropped immediately. So it looks very confusing where he was, but it was actually all under control the entire time. And as a result, we're going to be escaping the area with the Dream Nail very quickly. Well, we got everything we needed to get there, even though it may have not appeared that way. We did not talk to the person who likes to talk about the Dream Nail and give us our upgrades, but instead we're going to skip through and enter the City of Tears, which is definitely one of the more known places in the game. But as mentioned earlier, this is definitely one of the weirdest possible entrances you can do for the City of Tears on a first playthrough, but technically it's possible. But definitely a very non-normal perspective for the casual playthrough, I guess.
The reason I'm killing all of these enemies is basically for money.
Yeah, and very soon we're going to be coming up on a house where you can get a ton of geo. And yes, it is faster, unfortunately, to choose Chaos, but yeah. And here's
There's a lot of killing the rich in
yeah, there is unfortunately a lot of that in this city. Not that I'm condoning anything at all, of course.
No,
but
never get political here.
Yes, of course. So, anyways, we're not going to unlock the stag. I guess that's
no.
Actually,
We don't have.
Yeah, it's the other one. It's the other one.
I think it's 250.
So, what we have here is we're going back into the main area of the City of Tears. We're going to be geo farming, I guess, in this area.
Room.
I think we could probably do a donation or two right now.
Yeah. This bit's pretty boring. Okay. So he gives 420 geo for some reason. And just keep going down here and towards the most infamous boss in the game.
Well, from the speedrun standpoint, of course.
I think it's from a casual standpoint as well.
Is
Everybody hits Watch Nights.
I didn't think much of it in my playthrough, admittedly, but
I think it depends how far you are when you get there.
Yeah, it's a late game. I was definitely I got there very late in my personal playthrough. It's a late game boss, but as you know, we've been playing for roughly a half hour at this point.
Half hour. It says 20 minutes on mine.
Well, we officially started the thing at 7, so just little thing to point
12.
out, I guess. Sorry, my bad. I woke up for this, so not used to the typical time for everybody right now. But
right.
we're climbing an area that we don't normally go to this
room. I'm taking. It loses about 15 seconds, but it's absolutely necessary because I'm probably going to die to the upcoming boss.
Yeah, for a marathon run, that is at least. So a tough battle. We're actually going to go over here to knock out one of the enemies early, actually. Well, coming up, that is. But there's an interesting part about this boss. Pretty much all the boss is a bunch of large enemies. So we're going to go up here, is what I meant. And we're going to knock something down that's actually going to allow one of them to be taken out ahead of time. So, here we go. This is the Watcher Knights.
Yeah,
May not be the most interesting battle to watch, but...
It's a very basic but difficult fight.
Yeah. We're going to be fighting a bunch of these guys that slowly awaken for the rest of the run. Or the rest of the fight, I should say.
I'm just going to play it safe and go for a heal here.
Yeah, it's better now than later.
In dying.
You're going to have 2 of them for the rest of the battle after the first one.
Yeah.
So there's going to be healing. Now is the best time. And now we have 2 to deal with. And it's going to be that way for a while.
I'm stuck in lag. So yeah, this is a bit of a casual killer boss, but also a good player killer. Right, okay. So these bosses have a weird thing where they will like cancel their bounce, and it's really annoying because it messes up your timing. Oh god, this is bad. Yeah, I'm very scared I'm gonna die here. Yeah.
Ah, rough there.
Oh yeah. Right, it's okay.
Focus.
It's okay.
And that's why we did this.
This is quite a difficult fight because there's very little respite, and they have very big hitboxes that unfortunately we can't really get around with our current equipment. Because by the time you would fight this boss, you normally have things like the double jump and the shade dash, which are incredibly useful. But until we get them, we're stuck with just jump and dash.
Until we get them. Are we getting them?
Well, no, sorry. Without them, we're stuck with jump and dash.
Yeah.
Right. As long as I don't die more than one more time, I should be okay.
But yeah, definitely a late game fight that we're doing very, very early. A little bit tougher than the final battle that we're going to be doing today, so...
Oh, I got stuck in his hitbox. I think I should be able to get a heal after I kill one of them. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna slow. Right, I can get one. See, that's the cancel I talked about. Sometimes they'll cancel, and it gets you to think that they're gonna move on when they're not. Oh yeah, this is really bad. See, the thing is, what would normally happen there is he bounces over you, but because he cancelled the bounce for whatever reason, I don't know, I think it's RNG, he stops on the spot and immediately falls where he is. And when he does that, there is literally no way you can get around it that I know of.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to preemptively think about the possibilities, I guess. But easier said than done.
Right, hopefully we'll get this time.
Of course, the purpose being up here again so early is to awaken one of the dreamers, and that's something you usually do, I guess, pretty near the end, since to even access this area, a lot of times, I believe most ordinary players you're supposed to use the double jump, but again,
yeah, it's normally
don't really have that
inaccessible
privilege.
without the double jump. Nice. Third time lucky.
So here we go again.
I might just try and take this as safe as possible.
The big question on how you want to do these fights is how aggressive you want to be, I guess. For run purposes, usually that means that we do want to be aggressive and use our Vengeful Spirit that we talked about earlier to get a little bit of a projectile, powerful projectile. But again, every time you use that Vengeful Spirit, it prevents you from healing a little bit. Again, what the Shade Dash does, obviously the double jump is a double jump, but the Shade Dash pretty much is the Vengeful Spirit, but you'll be able to instead go through enemies and inflict them damage instead of the other way around. So it's a buffed version.
No, that's only if you've got Sharp Shadow.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the... there's a lot of late game content that I'm not going to spoil, I guess, that gives some background on all of that. But you're able to get through... Yeah, there's a charm that allows you to do damage with it that a lot of people use. But for the most part, it allows you to get through enemies unscathed. And in fights like this,
pure nail
very
and
useful.
spell casting. Right, we're on the last two now.
This one's looking a bit more promising, so... And once we get it down to one left, that should be an indicator that all things are going pretty well.
I think we're almost there.
Yeah, feels like this may be one of those runs where both of them die very close to each other.
Oh dear.
Which is always kind of annoying.
Oh,
There we got one. We gotta finish the other off. Like we got a heal in there. A bit of a close call, but we are now through.
Yeah, pretty hefty time loss, but it's fine, it's fine. It's expected.
So now very shortly after beginning the first dreamer awoken. I'm going to unfortunately ignore every potential reward. And also this
no, we're going
elevator.
back.
Oh, that is true. We do need to grind a little bit more geo, so...
This happened last time as well.
Yeah.
I miscounted which one it was.
The trade-off for ignoring the elevator.
My nerves are like through the roof after that fight.
Well, it is over now. So... Focus now moves on to, I guess just setting up the final battle. Unfortunately, this is not the Dreamer that you do last because, you know, speed purposes, more convenient to get to early, so we're taking care of it first. I think this is actually the last one I did, but more so it's just hard to figure out how to even get up there. Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this now, but normally when you quit out of the game, you go back to your bench, right? But when you do a Dreamer, it sets your respawn to wherever the Dreamer was. So we can't back out and go to King's Station or whatever. We have to go all the way back down.
There is Geo to pick up on the way, I would presume. So.
Yeah. And we need to meet a guy called Lem who gives us money.
Yeah. So there's a chest there. What you saw earlier was a journal, I believe. There's a lot of lore items in this game that you can sell for a quick buck.
Yeah.
So
we'll
be taking advantage of that. Because he is in this area. Be meeting him soon.
Yep. There's a thing you can do here called wall cling storage, but I've got no idea how it works. Use it, I guess. I'll go down here. That, and we're gonna. That was not intentional. What I was hoping.
We know everybody loves this elevator.
What I was hoping to do was knock the elevator up to the second floor, then jump down to the first floor before it arrived, so I could just go underneath it. But something happened with my inputs, I guess. What's our time on the stream, by the way? Because I've got half an hour on live split. And I'm pretty sure it's been longer than that.
Right now we are at 35 minutes.
That's not too bad.
So, if you don't mind, if you've got a moment for a couple more donations.
Yeah, this is perfect.
I have just been informed. I have just been informed that you gave me a shout before. I got interrupted a minute ago, and it must have just been really weird timing. So I apologise for that. I think I cut out for a minute. Anyway, so we got a donation from Joe Shank saying, incredibly proud of my gamers for putting this amazing event together. Big love to all involved, and best of luck to all runners. And that was a £15 donation towards Nipple Percent. Isaac Cactus says, donates £10 and says, shout out to Tigerton Illuminati for all the fantastic work they put into preparing this stream for us. This is going towards the Save Mia in Trilby's Resident Evil run. We got a £10 from Anonymous and £10 from Dwight Schrute from The Office saying, save the grub.
Oh, good.
Getting everybody from The Office today.
That loses you a very slight amount of frames.
Anyway, yes, apologies to you guys in the chat for cutting out the last donation shout out, but I've fixed my issues now, so I'll back over to you.
All right, so I believe now we're going to be looking for the Stag Station. And luckily we opened up the one in Dirtmouth earlier, or at least the one in the general vicinity. So a small price to pay for speed here, and we'll be fast traveling back to the main area very quickly.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but the Knight's head dipped down twice very slightly after I did the thing. Basically, if you look down for whatever reason, it makes the bell appear faster for the Stag Station. I don't know why, I think it's just a glitch.
So we talked about Sly earlier. We're going to buy this lantern from him.
Yeah, at an extortionate price.
Yeah, quite a ridiculous price. I think it actually makes a lot of first-time players not really want to get it as soon as they may be able to, but it will be convenient for us.
1800.
Yeah.
Right, so we're coming up to my least favorite room in the game, which has enemies that I think are called Furious Vengeflies.
Oh, yeah. So once you awaken one of the Dreamers, I believe it is, the Forgotten Crossroads turns into the Infected Crossroads, kind of signaling that this world does change.
Oh, Christ. Right, you know what? I'm just going to heal them.
Yeah.
That went horribly.
Respawn them.
I tried this the other day and I died.
Yeah, so. it's not worth dealing with them. You can just do this and go around.
It's only like a 5-second loss.
Yeah. The infected enemies tend to explode as well, so dealing with them is quite inconvenient. So we're now going to an area called the Crystal Peak, and we're going to mainly want to be here to get the next major power-up called the Crystal Heart, and that's going to allow us to access new areas that we've not been to so far, as is, I guess, most power-ups at this point in a speedrun, but it's going to be particularly useful for getting over large gaps.
Oh, I messed up.
A little bit of a detour here. But
I'm just going to kill that guy normally because I want to have a safety heal. Yeah, so these next few rooms are quite interesting because they're very platforming based.
What makes this part of the game a particularly annoying platforming challenge is the beams of light that the enemies shoot off. A lot of times it makes you take it a very specific way.
Okay. Bonked off the ceiling so I couldn't go quite as fast, but it's no big deal. But either way, the difficult room I did pretty well, so I'm happy. Alright, so I think after this room we've got the long laser room that has a damage tank. Deliberate. Just interesting. Let's do that too early. Yeah, it is.
So getting a little bit closer now. One thing that these kind of games like to do is to have you do this long detour to get to this area with the power-up. So, they make it very inconvenient to escape, I guess, once you get down to the actual power-up. So, again, it forces you to prove that you have the knowledge of the power-up before you can escape. So, that's kind of why we're doing this long path over. Because once we get this crystal heart here, as you see the bridge drops, we're now going to have the ability to quickly get through large gaps all at once.
We're not going to do the tutorial.
We're not going to do that because we're going to skip, quit out, and go to a recent bench.
So that, I believe, was Dirtmouth. Yeah.
Yep.
So all the way back in Dirtmouth, and we're going to use the crystal dash to get around a bit more because it's much, much faster than dashing.
Yeah, and the crystal dash has some very tough skips coming up, so...
Oh, that guy's called Tiso, by the way.
Yeah.
He's not a very nice person.
I think that Lyto prefers Quirrell. I think we meet Quirrell. We definitely meet Quirrell later because he assists us in a boss fight. But
Quirrell's a cool guy.
Before we get there, we're going to need to get into the Fog Canyon to begin with, using some very strange methods. Now, in the normal playthrough, you're going to be able to swim through toxic water by getting a power-up, defeating an item in the Royal Waterways, which we're not going to be seeing today, unfortunately. Maybe not, unfortunately.
That was unfortunate. I definitely made it, I just missed my jump.
Yeah, so we need to get through this area, nicely done without touching the water. You're meant to have to touch the water there, so... But luckily, we're able to do that with just the Crystal Heart in the speed run, so... We're going to be coming up on the second Dreamer soon. And we'll be meeting Quirrell.
Oh Christ, it's the wrong room. It's this one I'm supposed to crystal dash into.
Yeah. Don't want to mess with the jellyfish. So we actually walked by Quirrell. Yeah, we ignored him. Not very nice to do. But nonetheless, he will be coming to our aid.
I'm going to take a bench here because there is a boss coming up. I'm not too confident about. I mean, I shouldn't die like I did with the Watcher Knights, but...
It's one of the more annoying bosses, I'll say that for sure.
Right. Yeah. That was just an accidental dash. Fine.
It may be... I don't know if the boss would actually be a good time for donations, but it's worth consideration, considering you can't actually be the aggressor here.
Yeah.
You have to wait for Quirrell actually to give you an opening, so...
Yeah, if we do have any donations now, it's probably fine.
We've actually not had any donations since the last few I've read, so...
Oh.
So get donating, guys.
Yeah. Good news is that means that if you donate, you'll get shouted out pretty soon, I guess. So you'll be first in the queue.
Exactly. Whoever from the office is still about, give us some money.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Quirrell here gives us an opening. Which is kind of weird since we haven't really talked to him. But he's going to help us. Because why not? Now, what's kind of annoying about this boss...
Ideally, I should be dream nailing him, but I kind of messed up early on, and I can't get the timing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're probably going to constantly be on the move here. Ideally, I would be doing it in 3 or even 2, but I'll live. I want him to come down here so that... No, I want him over here, don't I?
very convenient location, it looks like this time. It's got a lot there.
Yeah. That's the kind of idea I would be going for in all of the phases first.
I think Dream Kneeling him will give us some soul, which is the purpose.
Oh, Christ. That was...
But we may want to use that to heal.
Yeah. I am not about to die to this thing at all.
Hopefully this can maybe be
Yeah,
it. We'll
I'm just going to heal. I don't want to risk it.
Not getting the most precise of locations. Now we're going to have to keep staying on the move because we don't want to get zapped here.
Christ, this is going
Not getting very nice shock locations.
I know that's deliberate, Rookie.
Yeah. Well, no, it actually wasn't deliberate, but I thought about it after. Lyto has different aliases that I accidentally used here.
Right, okay.
Man, that third cycle was looking nice, but doing a lot of time waste there.
It's fine.
It's not cooperating, but it's over now.
Mostly my fault, so. Right, I'm just going to take
You can blame Coral if you want.
Okay, it's that one.
So again, like the last one, we're not going to be able to escape this area because after you do one of the Dreamer parts of the game, it updates your save location to this area. So we're going to have to take advantage of it and go to the next logical area after, which is going to be another skip, like the one earlier. I think maybe a little bit tougher with the Crystal Heart and get into the Queen's Gardens so we can save the final Dreamer in an area known as Deep Nest. A little tough is an understatement, yeah.
Yeah, it's widely considered the hardest trick in the game.
Which is why I think updating to the bench up there may be used, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, I'm 100% going to use the bench as a safety. Because if I get nervous, I'm probably going to die at least 2 times. Yeah. But if I get it straight away, great. If I didn't take the bench and I died, I'd have to do all of this place again.
Yeah, and getting this final skip here is going to be, I guess, one of the easiest run killers that you could possibly have. So, I guess in Lyto's shoes, if you're getting that skip on a slightly decent pace, you may be set up in a pretty good position for actually setting a PB. But it's going to look like the one earlier, where you fall onto the wall in Crystal Heart, and have very little room to, I guess, jump off if you can get the proper setup. But again, like the last one, we're going to hope to just get as close to the toxic water as possible, and then hopefully be able to skip over. So, we're in this area now. We're gonna have to get underneath this, and yeah, it's fine. You have to be very close, so getting the jump off.
There's the reason I hit all those enemies on the way.
Yeah, you gotta get some soul.
Damn. This is unfortunate.
A very precise trick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna quickly try and dream nail some of these enemies. Because I got it first try in my practice run earlier.
Yeah, such as, I guess, speed running. Is Jellyfish gonna go out of his way to juke us?
It's fine. It should be okay.
Can hope that this is enough to maybe get through here. The tough part about this is you need to be probably as low as possible, but being low, additionally, there it is. Being low is unfortunate. It's a blessing and a curse because you have to be able to jump out without tapping the water as well. So, very precise trick there.
These enemies, for some reason, don't have a hitbox next to them. when they shoot out the spikes. So I'm going to use them to get a lot of safety HP.
Yeah. Now this area is known as the Queen's Gardens. It's definitely one of the late game areas. I don't think that you're actually required to be here to finish the normal ending, but nonetheless, we're going to go through it as a route to Deep Nest, which is where the final Dreamer lies. And not many people like Deep Nest, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to go there.
Doesn't deserve any likes.
Yeah, I think it's definitely intentionally made to not be a place that people want to be in. It's very off-putting, I guess. Very something feels very off about it. You see a lot of very I guess spooky, for lack of a better word, enemies. But
I don't know why I went and got money there. Right, so we're just going to do a little respawn glitch here. Basically, the respawn area pokes up above where it's supposed to be. So you can just skip down. Saves a little bit. Then I'm just gonna I really don't want to die, because if I do, I go all the way back to where the previous boss was.
Before the skip, so...
Yeah, so I'm just gonna spend maybe 15 seconds getting max health here. Just to be ultra safe.
Now, each area in this game kind of has a little bit of a platform, or I guess a platforming gimmick, keep things fresh. As you can see, when you hop on lots of these ledges, they like to fall out from underneath us. Definitely a little bit annoying for navigation, but what makes the area unique. But yeah, Deep Nest is in the very bottom left corner of the game. It's very hard to see there. I guess that can kind of be its own gimmick, but that's why we're falling down so low.
Yeah, it won't let you see there unless you've got a lantern.
And here we are. So
this is a horrible, horrible area that nobody likes, except maybe...
I don't know. I'm trying to I still have yet met somebody who's like, oh yeah, I love going through Deep Nest.
What?
And I see the purpose for it to exist, personally. Like, it's this area that nobody, like, everybody in the world of Hollow Knight, I think, despises this area. One of the well-known bosses guards it off from the public because they don't want people to get in here. But
that's because it's dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. So you only really go here when you're ready. Now you can actually get into Deep Nest pretty early but if you do that, I would say it's more so as a challenge mode. You can use it to gain access to different areas. So.
Alright, I'm just gonna wait for that guy to come down. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Right, so
luckily we can
spawned up here. You can get some soul off. We need it for a certain enemy later, anyway.
Yeah. Luckily, regardless, we will have a bench sooner or later. One that we can update our spot on.
Right, okay.
So, look out for that.
I'm just gonna forget about the soul, and...
Once we get to the bench, everybody can take a deep sigh. And we're very close to it, so... Lucky for that. We're here. So, I'm going to take a quick rest in this area. Oh, yeah, that's not what's supposed to... No, I'm just kidding. That is definitely what's supposed to happen. And in true Deep Nest fashion, kind of disturbing, but this is quite literally where we need to wake it up the third Dreamer. And once we do that, we can get to the final boss. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to escaping this area. And yeah, that's why he was trying to farm soul earlier, because on a normal bench he would have just gotten it back.
Right. I'm gonna go for soul and...
Yeah. The unfortunate reality is that there is no sigh of relief.
Yeah,
because we have not updated our spot yet.
I'm gonna do the Devout the slow way, because I should have full soul here.
The good news, though, is that there's no real boss in this area like the last two. I guess the gimmick is more so just the fake bench.
Yeah, these enemies take ages to kill. There is a very fast strat to kill them, but it requires you to have max soul when you fight them. And also, I really don't want to die.
This is where the nail upgrades would be quite useful, but
Yeah. If you didn't notice before, these things do 2 damage instead of 1. Oh, I moved that.
that is quite irritating. Okay, goes the final hit.
I really, really dislike this area. One more. What else? Right, so I believe we had somebody donate to save the grub earlier. Is that right?
We did, yeah. That was a
Oh, you're not going
Dwight
to do this to them.
Schrute donated £10 to save the grub.
Cool, I'll do that in a second. Okay, I believe it is.
Yeah. They're gonna have a rude awakening, unfortunately, I think.
There we go. He is now safe.
Oh no, I was thinking of a different one. Alright.
What
Well,
did you think it was?
we got one grub. I thought since it was Deep Nest, maybe there would be a drawback there. As
Oh no, there's
there are
no
grubs
mimic
in this
there.
game. There are grubs in this game that
Armed
try to
grubs.
bait you into fighting an actual monster. They trick you with their cute little appearance. That one caught me off guard the first time
It's horrifying.
I found one. It's horrifying. It's like it's these little cute little
Does it
grub
make like a
things.
shrieking noise as well?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take time to hit that because I'm at the dreamer anyway.
Be nice if there was a damage boosting option there, I guess.
Yeah, it would be nice, but damn it. What time are we at on the stream?
We are currently at just hit 57 minutes.
Right. Well, I'm at 49 on live split, which for the record is 11 minutes behind Scarfeld's PR.
So
Sorry, PB.
yeah,
That's
we're gonna
the-
be coming up at the very end soon. So I don't know if there's any more donations. Now may be a good time. We need to go over to a stag station.
Yeah, we've
fast
got
travel,
no, s-
Go ahead.
we've got this one here from Chris B. And I'm sorry, Chris, I'm not singing it, but it's standing in line to see a Cal tonight, and there's a Lyto heavy clom. Double the donation, and I'll sing it. Maybe.
Are the killers, Rookie, are the Killers big in America? Or were they?
Wait, what's that?
A band called the Killers, were they big in America in like the early 2000s?
I personally wouldn't remember. It's too
It must be an English thing.
I don't think I've ever heard an American mention the Killers before.
yeah, it may just be a me thing.
I really could have crystal dashed that. But...
Well, we have just enough geo to get out of this area.
Hey,
And we'll be
one
going
last
back to-
trip on the stag station.
What's that?
One last trip on the stag.
Yeah. And we're instead going fast travel back to the very beginning of the game, because the end of the game actually takes place near the beginning. And Tizo is still there, I just realized. Yeah, these NPCs, you can find them all throughout the map, but I guess we haven't done enough to move them. Which is kind of crazy. I feel like we've progressed the story a lot since the last time we've seen them. Yeah, final preparations will be made here.
Right, if I don't die, I'll donate a 10.
Ooh, let's go. So again, this final area, I guess, is just going to really be. I know we've gone through a lot of the exploration in the game, but this is going to be kind of a preview of just all the content you can get in this game right here. Now, this boss, is quite difficult, but luckily for the players, there's actually a lot more. There's a lot of even more difficult bosses in the post game. A lot of challenges and a lot of areas that we actually haven't touched up upon. And we're doing any percent. We're not doing the 100% ending or the true endings. So we won't be spoiling that. So if you want to try out the game on your own, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great bargain of a price too. And you know, if you get it, there's a sequel that has been announced. So after we defeat the true Hollow Knight here, we'll be finishing the run.
His attacks are so slow. I hate it.
Yeah. Our runner here may be used to a slightly harder version in the challenge modes, so...
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, that is definitely one way of putting it, so...
Right, I'm just going to play it safe. So, I really should have done it.
Yeah, the Hollow Knight here likes to parry a lot.
Yeah, we had a joke that
counter.
he's a Wi-Fi Marth. He's got big attacks and he spams counter.
Yeah.
As you can see.
A Wi-Fi down beer for all of our Smash players here, which I assume is a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're supposed to up slash there, aren't you? I'm just gonna heal. I should not have healed there. I think we're in the second half of the fight. In a second.
Yeah, again, this is one of those fights that definitely could end a lot earlier, but we are in a very non-upgraded state right now. There's a lot of nail upgrades you can actually do. Your nail can do more damage, just the normal attacks and stuff.
Okay, right.
There's a lot of other spells we can get. And now we're
what he's
officially
doing
near the
there
end.
is he's trying to get rid of the infection that is within him.
And for a lot of story purposes, there's a lot more to that. But
Yeah,
again, if you want to get into the lore,
I'm not going to spoil it.
yeah, don't want to spoil it. And that's one of the cool things about this game is we can be fighting this final boss and
there's
only
a
be
special-
scratching. Yeah, this is kind
I
of
can't
rare.
remember the strat for this. I think you're supposed to like do nail fireball up there.
But yeah, the good news, as mentioned, is we can actually show off this final boss and, for the most part, really only be scratching the surface, because there's a lot more content after this, a lot more lore that's not explained by this, so even if you're seeing this now, you still have reason to play. But yeah, spoiler alert, our character unfortunately is not the Hollow Knight, so may have some awkward naming if he were to ever somehow get into Smash or something. But the good news is his moveset would probably translate pretty well to the game. But, you know, one can only hope.
I could be getting a lot more damage here, but I just don't want to die. I think that's the last screen. I'm just gonna do it one more time. And at this point, you saw he does really weak movements in his attacks. Yeah, like he only does one slash instead.
Yeah, very much near the end.
If you're
And
wondering
a
why I'm
weakened
not
state.
hitting him while he stabs himself, it's because he only takes one damage instead of the usual however many it is. I don't actually know. Oh, I did it.
And there it is.
Ah, thank God I didn't die.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole circle. It's not time yet. So what's happening here is our little knight is absorbing the infection.
Yeah. And I guess you could say this is one ending where, you know, the knight, I guess, takes the reign of the Hollow Knight,
Oh,
sealing the
that's time, by
infection.
the way. Oh God, it was 55 minutes on my live split.
And there's Hollow
know what-
Knight for you. Just a little bit of it, at least, but enough
Do
to.
I have time to show off DLC bosses?
I believe so. If one of the other organizers can just pop up in chat and just confirm that for me, I think he should be fine.
Right, I'm just gonna what I've got to do is I've got to switch to the other version of Hollow Knight because that is 1.2.2.1, which doesn't have the DLC.
Yeah, we saw that version because he could actually hit certain switches or levers or all that kind of stuff from
Right.
underneath them,
The
which
new
gives
one
us a
should
little
be
bit
up
of
if
a time
that's
save.
okay. Right. If you haven't beaten the game, look away because
Uh-oh.
can I just confirm that we're back up? The game's back up on the stream.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Okay. Which one should I do first?
I mean, you should try like Sister. I don't know, maybe Sisters of Battle or
I
something.
think I'll do Sisters and Nightmare King.
Maybe Grim. I wouldn't do like any of the story related ones.
No, I won't do the story ones because you need to experience them for yourself.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the bosses in the game called Actually, I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm so used to just saying Sisters of
They're
Battle.
called Mantis Lords.
Yeah, the Mantis Lords, and they're actually the. What's interesting about them, really? Now, there's a whole video about the Mantis Lords and why they're such a good boss fight. What's interesting about them? Now, here's a little bit of a plot twist. In the normal game, you fight the other two. In the hard mode, you have to deal with all three of them. So this is definitely some of the most fast, intense battling you get in the game. But it's a very interesting fight. They're actually I guess they're a good presence in the game. I know they're a fight for you nonetheless, but
Yeah, they're not bad
they're
guys.
good guys. But you kind of have to earn the respect of the whole Mantis village. Unfortunately, we did not get to do that on the run because we just kind of infiltrated and took the Mantis Call for ourselves. But overall, once you defeat the fight, they actually stop. All the Mantis enemies stop attacking you and gain respect for you. Just kind of a cool little touch. And the Mantis Lords actually oversee the entrance to deepness that we were talking about, and I guess if you want to talk about the lore standpoint, they keep the common people away from that very dangerous area. One thing I think that's very
about this fight is that it gets easier as you go on.
Yeah, but I think one of the truly interesting things about this game is as you get your power-ups and stuff for more navigation, it really starts to buff you in battles too. As you see, we weren't able to do this in the normal run, but he's now able to dash through enemies if he wanted, or to use a second jump. So there's a lot of interesting little buffs that you get that you don't even get in the speedrun itself. So
Alright, I'll do one more.
there's one of the DLC fights right here. Now this one is incredibly difficult, so
the first time I did this fight, I think it took me 45 minutes to get through the first phase.
yeah, it has quite the learning curve. It's one of those things where like you're frustrated playing against it, but you start learning, and then after you learn, once you finally beat it, you feel so great that you finish it, but then you're like sad because you want to keep playing it. It becomes so fun, but it's quite frustrating at first. I think that really just speaks measures about this game, and a lot of them like that.
I'm not doing well at all, geez.
Yeah,
It's
I know
fine.
there's a lot of games like Celeste. I think we'll be visiting later. I'm not certain.
Celeste is tomorrow, I believe.
It's last tomorrow evening.
A lot of these indie games, what's so special about them is they make you do almost impossible tasks that you don't think that you can do, but they train you perfectly for them. And fights like these really are, I guess, just the epitome of that whole idea. I know Cuphead is also a game that's very much like, oh, how did I do that? But you just kind of learn, and you don't really realize it while it's happening, but the difference of fighting this guy for the first time and the difference fighting just an hour later, if you record them and put them side to side, it'd probably be mind-blowing just how much better you get. The game really teaches you. And I think that this is definitely one of the bosses that was a bit of a casual filter for me, because I got through a lot of the game the first time with a pretty defensive build. You can really customize how you play, I guess, with the whole charm system that we talked about earlier. But this boss, what I realized, gives literally no time to heal because of how fast he is. So I had to personally change my entire playstyle for it, and I think that's quite interesting to have to deal with in a lot of these, I guess, optional DLC bosses. So
He's also got a
Again.
really cool music theme.
yeah, I'm a big fan. So big recommend, as I've mentioned, but you know, we have a lot of other great games coming up soon, so make sure to tune into those as well.
I think we're almost at the end. Oh yeah, you'll notice I can attack a lot faster in this one. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
Because I've got a charm called Quick Slash on.
part of his own build there. And there he goes. Yep. Love watching you
Right.
just one try this guy and then failing Watcher Knights 3 times. So.
Shut up! I had 5 health and like no Quick Slash.
It's just funny because of how much harder that boss is than the Watcher Knights, but
Right.
it really gives
we
you
got-
a idea of how much more powerful you can get.
So I don't know if you want us to play around for a little bit longer or if you want to get the new guys in.
Hmm.
I mean, we've got a little bit of time before the next run. So if you got anything else you want to show off in the
Well,
meantime, or
Should we show ending 3?
I don't remember exactly
That's
which it is.
it's the second version of the normal ending.
I don't really know. Like, whatever you want to do, I guess.
Right. So big spoilers. Yeah.
You've been
explain
warned.
it.
You've been warned.
Oh, that's the guy we saved earlier, by
Yeah.
the way. He's called Zote. He's
Yeah, he's now speaking of all the great challenges he's endured and how great he is.
yeah. He has a thing called the 58 precepts of Zote, which I think it's 58.
Yeah.
Which are basically his morals, and he tells them constantly. So what we're going to do is, we are going to fight the Hollow Knight again, but it'll be a bit different. Actually, let me just check. I've got. Fine.
I'm gonna overcharm, maybe.
No, I'm not over charming. I take like ridiculous damage.
Yeah. Just wanted to bring that subject up. One thing you can actually do that's incredibly not intuitive is if you're persistent enough, you can actually equip more charms than slots they give you. But again, massive damage and drawback if when you get hit. But technically, you have the ability to do so. It's very non-intuitive, but because it pretty much denies you from doing it. But if you just keep doing it, it'll allow you to overcharm yourself, which is pretty interesting, I guess.
So you notice how much quicker we got to the spheres.
Yeah. That's why you get upgrades in these Metroidvanias and stuff. Because it gets a ton easier, and the game also can afford to get much more difficult as a result. So when you see these runs where people do these boss rushes with all these restrictions, I forget exactly what it's called, but when you see people do all these bosses with like the normal setups, it's actually really difficult.
So
As I mentioned, a lot of the upgrades help you in battle, not just in navigation. So
massive spoiler warning. This is the sort of true final boss. There is a harder version in the Pantheon, but we don't talk about that person. That boss.
yeah, I didn't think we were going to be seeing this one and stuff.
Well, we've got time.
Now I haven't got to the actual Pantheon version, which is again perhaps the toughest boss in this game.
Just don't. It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
I mean, that's what I told you.
Yeah,
No.
but then I went and did it anyway.
Yeah, no, what's crazy to me is I was actually the one who told Lyto about this game. I haven't done it before, so he just got hooked. So, again, I more so like it for the Metroidvania gameplay. I appreciate the nice and crisp movement and stuff, but I think that our runner Lyto here is much more of a, I guess, fanatic when it comes to
Going back.
challenges. So, again, how you play a lot of different ways. So that's kind of the beauty.
Does this version do 2 damage for hit? I can't remember.
I think it does.
I have to be more careful than I thought then.
This one still took me a decent amount of tries when I played it. I don't remember the actual lore of this, but I know that this monster is behind a lot of the infection. So, yeah, in the ending we saw, we simply seal the infection, but there is another way to confront it, I guess. Well, not I guess,
Since
it
I'm
just
so
is.
powerful, I'm already at the final phase.
Yeah, this is always a fun one to watch. It's also really fun to watch people choke this part. Not that I like seeing people's misery, but it is funny.
And you'll find out later.
Oh, okay, we're doing that, I guess.
Yeah, if you want to play the game, it's really good. It's about a tenner, and you get like 60 odd hours of playtime or something. You get a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Hollow Knight. I'm sorry about the quality of the run. It wasn't fantastic, especially the Hot Matcha Knights, the Mosquito. But I hope you enjoyed it regardless. I'll donate a little bit of money later, and good luck to all of the rest of the runners.
I think you said if you didn't die on the final boss that you'd be dropping a
Yeah, I did
donation.
say I would donate a tenner. So
Just a quick reminder there, I guess. So, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyway,
buy the
yeah,
game.
Thanks
thanks
for the
for both of
opportunity.
you. The very entertaining run. I've never actually I've only ever played a bit of Hollow Knight, so I've never seen the end game, and I'm like, what? Like some of
Yeah.
those end game bosses were insane. That was a really good run.
Yeah, it's definitely worth trying out.
Yeah. Anyway, the stream's going to cut to a little break, and then we're going to be back soon with Magic Man Twan's Ratchet and Clank run.